So to all the Patreon members, all the subscribers, I want to thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me. Forgive me for being late. Something came up earlier, but I'm here now. Pretty sure you guys are watching the football game and watching me as well. Got the Broncos playing the Saints. I'm not going for anybody in particular, but I just want to watch a good game. Seems like a pretty even matchup. So hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself. On a Thursday evening. If you're watching this on a playback, hopefully you're enjoying your day. You guys can check out the links in the description box below for the Patreon page and the Facebook page. That'll be great. All right. Come join other like minded people who are sharing photos and videos of their content and their experience traveling abroad and different articles as well on Facebook. All right. Patreon page. You just get exclusive behind the scenes content. So this video has nothing to do with the article. I don't know why they had this up top. This picture right here at the bottom should have been at the top, but they put something totally different right here. I thought this was fake, but this was posted by the New York Post. Gen Zer says she's so attractive, it doesn't matter that she's homeless. If you're hot, don't ever pay rent. All right. And this woman right here, she's Australian. Her name is Emily Webb. She's 25 years old. I went to her TikTok page, and I don't know if she's being serious or not. All of her content is just her goofing around, doing a lot of attention whore shit. And so, but I want to address it just because it was said. Right? I don't know if it's true or not, but I still do want to address it. 25 years old, lives on the Gold Coast, Australia, excuse me. Currently, all her most precious items are stuffed in her car while she rotates between couch surfing with friends or going on dates to find a good place to sleep for the night. She's been frantically applying for rentals, but because Australia is in a rental crisis nationwide, the the market is competitive and she's been left in the lurch. So I looked it up. Says that I looked up rental crisis in Australia. The first thing that popped up was by the Guardian. It says that rents have been increasing at alarming levels. Potential buyers are being priced out of the housing market. Homelessness levels are rising as many Australians struggle to buy food, let alone meet rental and mortgage payments. Debates about which policies could fix the crisis continue. All right. So there's a housing market. People are left homeless. Then, they check your background before they even allow you to move into an apartment. And they say, nah, you couldn't even afford your house. You got this, this on your record, this on your history. We don't even want you to have this house. We don't even want you to live here in this apartment complex. So seem like they're struggling over there. And it shouldn't be a struggle because if women actually learn how to coexist with men, right, you shouldn't be homeless. So you're still using men, but you're using men for as a single, thinking it's funny, posting it up on social media. You're showing where feminism is getting you. Yeah, you're getting attention on TikTok because of social media, right? You're able to kind of take it as a joke and you get attention while doing it. And you get a following while doing it. But at one point in time, for those of us who are old enough to live in a world without social media, a homeless woman was a homeless woman. And the only way a homeless woman would ever get by in life is if she had to either bite down and pretend that she liked a man and coexist with a man. And those rules kind of still apply to this day. But if you get enough eyes on you, you get enough attention, then you'll probably get tips You'll get donations. You'll get Cash App, money from Cash App. You'll get money from monetization, right? But that's not even what I want to get at. All right. I don't want to get at that you have to coexist with another man in order to live a comfortable life. What I want to get at is like you're using people, you're using men, knowing that, and this is kind of a dangerous uh part of the pool to play in, right? This is a dangerous part of the ocean to play in, right? When you go too deep in the deep end, and men start to catch on, if enough men start to catch on, then that's a you're playing in murky waters, and it's not a threat to her or any other woman. But the thing is, you got to do right by people. You got to do right by people. It's best if you just put yourself out there as a lady of the night than to, I don't know exactly what you're doing. I'm only going by what the article says. But by you saying, I'm gonna keep on reading. One of the quotes she said is places for free every single night. You can literally just go on Hinge and stay at different guys' houses. That's what her quote was. I was gonna pull up the video, but I couldn't find that particular. She has so many videos on TikTok that I couldn't find this video. I was looking for this outfit. I couldn't find it. But here's the thing. This is enough. Kevin Samuels mentioned this. He said that, man, men are way too romantic. Men are the romantic ones. Women are not the romantic ones. Men are the more, they're all about fantasy and romance more than women nowadays. Women, a lot of women, they have a set agenda. They're all about self now. Yeah, we've been noticing that for a very, very long time. They'll take their kids and go on. Whatever that number is, 1, 2, 3 kids, they'll take their kids and, pretend that you're abusive as an excuse to leave, never to speak to you again, and then still expect you to pay half, to give up half, pay child support, and keep it. Just in general, because I don't know if she's telling the truth. Just in general, I've always said, man, stop taking women out on dates. They're very unappreciative. You can't take a sniper out on a date. You can't take a killer out on a date. You can't take somebody that's selfish out on a date. Even if they pretend like they're not being selfish, you can't really, because not nowadays, man. It's like you just got to do a meetup at where you live at. All right, we could meet up halfway somewhere, but we just gonna meet up at this park and talk. And if we enjoy each other's time, we could take it a step further. The next step, the next meetup might be to see if we're sexually compatible. Dates, you got to start taking your girlfriend out on a date. You got to start taking your wife out on a date. You can't take a woman out on a date and y'all don't really have a title because you don't know what she's doing, right? You don't know what her intentions are. This woman's intentions is not to really get her shit together. If what she's saying is true, it's not really to get her shit together. It's not really to kind of get back in good graces with her family, go to school, get a skill, do right by a man if that's what she wants to do. It's just like, hey, I want to do my own thing. I'm gonna be single. I'm gonna act wild. I'm gonna be young, wild, and dangerous, and use men that are out here. A rebel without a cause. These are the type of women where you get hurt dealing with these kind of women. You can end up in the hospital. You can end up losing your life messing around with a woman like this. You can end up catching incurable diseases messing around with a woman like this. Uh, oh, seems like she has no shame, and you grew up in a culture where this was acceptable, where a woman can have no shame and still be like, hey, you know what? I turned my life around, then all is forgiven. But everything else you did to somebody in the past, or what you did to people in the past, it's almost like you're wiped away with a clean slate. A man cannot do that. So I don't, women like this, and then she's on Hinge, right? Remember, I talked about this yesterday. Lil Duval, he posted up. He posted up a post. He posted up a DM that a woman sent him. She was in a relationship for a very, very long time. Her and a dude broke up, and that year alone, within that year of her breaking up with a dude, she had sex with like 17 people, quick, fast, people that she worked with, and most of them were people from Hinge, right? And that's crazy because I've met people who were in a relationship and it was a breakup, and within that week, she met either one person or a couple people, let them slut them out, and then she goes back to her ex, and I'm just like, wow, that's insane, right? Um, Dates should be a thing in the past now. A woman's gonna have to earn a date. You're gonna have to make a woman earn a date. You're spending your money, you're wasting your time trying to take somebody out like this because they have other intentions. She's talking about coming back with you, and you're like, oh, okay. In your mind, you a guy, you like, hey, man, I got wants and needs too. She's not looking that bad. So why not? And while you're saying why not, you go over, she comes over and she's on her phone the whole time. She's being distant and she's telling you no. Yeah, I'll come and lay down with you, but I'm not having sex with you. You're like, oh, okay. All right. Cool. Right. I wouldn't have mentally prepared for sex had you not said I wanted to come over and spend the night with you. But just because a woman comes over doesn't mean that you automatically are just going to have sex with them. So you back off. Damn, she on her phone the whole time. She's saying, giving one word answers. The next day, what happens? The next day is like, hey, you staying over tonight or what? Nah, I just needed a place to stay that night. Come to find out, when she was over at your spot, she was on Hinge the whole time looking for hitting another lick on there with another guy. Webb has been applying for rentals, but Australia's nationwide rental crisis had made the market competitive. All right. You could have gone into a shelter. I've offered to pay rent 6 and 12 months in advance and still had no luck, she told news.com. I don't know if some of y'all have ever, I can't assume everybody who's um, listening right now has ever paid rent or has ever lived in an apartment complex. Like in Asia, you could do stuff like that. You can pay 6 months to a year in advance if you want to. But in America, in Western countries, they don't allow that. It's like, no, you're going to pay once a month at the first, and you got to pay between the first and the fifth every single month, right? You have to pay once a month, and it's going to be on time. You can't say, hey, I got enough for 6 months. Here you go. They'll be like, nah, we can't do that. Like, you have to send out a special email, and they have to. And if they tell you no, it's like, nah, you just gonna have to pay it 1 month at a time. It's like, yeah, I'm paying in advance, and they telling me no, so I know where she's coming from. Miss Webb runs a successful OnlyFans account with over 100,000 followers on Instagram. So if you're doing that, then you don't really need. Oh, I'll take that back. So she has the money she's offered, but they're still telling her no. Right. So it's not that she doesn't have the money. I'll take that back. You might as well just buy a house at this point in time. But I really don't know the details behind this. This sounds weird because 100,000 followers. No, a successful OnlyFans, that's not 100,000. Sorry. 100,000 followers on Instagram. She earns a high income and is looking at paying around almost 2,700 a month in rent. So if you can offer a year, if you have about 30 grand on deck right now to be able to pay off money for rent for a year, and they still telling her no. I don't know if it's because of her history. I don't know what's going on in Australia. All right. She doesn't seem like a likely candidate to become homeless, but she hasn't had a permanent address for a fortnight now. Fortnight is what, 7 days? But because of pretty privilege, she said it hasn't mattered much. I can't believe I've been wasting my money on rent all this time. Life hack. If you're hot, don't ever pay rent, she announced online. Miss Webb revealed that she's been using the dating app Hinge and staying at different men's houses when she wants a break from relying on friends. I've been on dating apps, finding different guys, places to stay with, and it is going surprisingly well. I don't usually tell them. I don't want to put pressure on anyone, she explained. You can literally just go on Hinge and stay at different guys, I guess, houses. I don't mention that I'm homeless, and I don't think I look homeless. She's created a weekly schedule for herself. She usually stays with friends 4 times a week, goes on dates about 3 times a week. If there's a vibe, she'll patiently wait. Okay. She's not ugly, right? I don't think she's terrible looking. They usually ask her to stay over and she says yes, which gives her a place to stay for the night, even if some of the men don't own bedheads. She said most places have been clean. I have so many friends on the Gold Coast, but I don't want to overstay my welcome or be a burden. I don't mind being a burden to random men, she said. Uh, I've been around women who talk like that. And the way they talk about men, it's like, man, that's dangerous. I don't because if a man said this about a woman, um, they would have this man ran off the internet. Like you wouldn't even be allowed to start to open a new account if you talk about women like this, if you use women like this. Look at the Tinder swindler. Right? This man is not even allowed to get on any dating apps anymore. I know that's a little different. That's a little bit more extreme, but still, here was a guy who finessed women, and it's like, I didn't force you to take out loans. That's why when he went to court, they never charged him for the money that these women were taking loans out for given to him. They only charged him for identity theft, traveling with, a new identity, different people's identity on with different passports, getting on planes. All right. But not too long ago, I was like, a woman, that I was around was every once in a while would say little slick shit about men like this. And I was like, damn, that's how you think about a man? I mean, I'm a man, so that's what you think? I'm like, no, I had to get away, right? Because they don't care. They don't care. You're disposable. It's like, I'll use you what I need to use you for, and then I'll throw you to the side like a sack of shit. And when they know men are hopeless romantics, it's like they kind of play on that, right? And if you're a man that doesn't kind of wake up and wise up and see this type of shit, you can fall victim like the hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of men out here that fell victim by uh women's intentions, right? Women's not saying all women, not saying all, not saying all at all, but women's agenda. So far, she said nothing bad has happened, but she stressed that if a date didn't work out, she wouldn't feel pressure to stay because she could stay at a friend's place. Having that autonomy means she's less vulnerable. And so far, she's only seeing benefits. It is good not paying rent. The places I'm looking at are around $1,000 a week. I'm having so much, and I'm saving so much, she said. Going on dates and staying over the night might be saving her money in rent now, but it isn't her long-term plan. So I don't believe that. I don't think she's had sex with all these men that she spent the night with, but I definitely don't think that she spent the night with all these men and she's never had sex. I don't believe that. Right? And you on OnlyFans. So some guys will, some guys won't. I'm pretty sure I haven't clicked the link on her OnlyFans. I don't even know what's on there. But if you able to do this every single week, I'm pretty sure you've ran into a lot of guys that's willing to make content with you. Um, but she's an OnlyFans chick. For now, though, she loves seeing what men will easily agree to. I love pushing the boundaries of pretty privilege and seeing how far I can take it. You're only single and hot once, and I love taking advantage of it anywhere it can. I don't want to. I'm trying to be honest. I'm not trying to sound negative or positive, but I will have to agree. I'm thankful for her saying this right here. I know there's a way you can zoom in, but um, to enlarge in this, I want to zoom in, but you guys can see what I have highlighted right here. It says, "I love pushing the boundaries of pretty privilege and seeing how far I can take it." So I love pushing my boundaries with men and seeing how far, how what I can do and how much I can get away with dealing with these men, right? I love pushing my boundaries. So it's not you didn't hear, hey man, I met a good guy. I've been going on dates. I've been doing what I have to do. I'm out here with good intentions. You don't hear that. I'm out here with good intentions. And I just met a good guy, solid background, raised with his mother and father, blue collar worker, white collar worker, right? Um, no criminal record, uh, clean cut, and he just has a good heart. And I think, you know, I can see myself with this person for quite some time, long term. You don't hear that. It's like, man, how much can I disrespect and use these men? What boundaries can I push to disrespect and use these men? How much will they let me get away with disrespecting them? That's pretty much what she's saying. If the tables were turned, they would. If a man had said this about, hey man, like if the Tinder swindler, if this were the Tinder swindler, like yeah man, I portray myself as rich on the internet, and these women they think I own this jewelry company. I got enemies after me, right? I got so many enemies after me. I can't even stay at my place, so I stay at these women's place. I'm just saying, how much more can I lie to these hoes? And how much more? What kind of? I'm a habitual line stepper. That's what I am, right? You know, I want to see how I can push my boundaries with these bitches out here and see what else they're gonna let me get away with. Hell, fuck it. I might as well just not lie anymore and be like, hey, you know what? I don't know no jewelry business. I talked to the landlord. I told him, yeah, hey, I'm moving in here, knowing that you can't have nobody else moving in here unless you pay a certain amount. So I'm up in here now. You go down to the landlord office, talk to them, pay the fee to have me up in here because I'm pretty much here now, right? And I've been here a couple months. I done switched all my mail over here. I'm up in here now. I don't know no jewelry business. I ain't got no enemies. You know what I'm saying? They canceled that man. They made a whole special out of him. He's not allowed to get on social media anymore. He's not allowed to make an account anymore. Right? But this woman right here, I love pushing the boundaries and seeing how far I can take it. You only single once, hot, and I love taking advantage if anywhere it can. Now, these guys know that you're an OnlyFans model, right? And they know, hey, man, I'm just using you for a play. If you're being honest, then I can respect that. If you're not being honest, then look here. That's like, the reason why women could do this, because a lot of men are thirsty, they're hunters, they're hopeless romantics, right? And under the government, a man is not supposed to harm you. Nobody's supposed to harm you, but all men aren't the same. Right? Unfortunately, all men aren't the same. And the thing is, I don't even believe this. I don't even believe her, really. For some reason, I don't believe her. But I know somebody who was doing this. I had a homegirl growing up who did this. She was claiming that her uncle was essaying her when really, because she lived with her aunt and uncle, and really she just wanted to stay out too, and they had a problem with that. That's really why, you know, she was staying at people's houses. She just wanted to do what she wanted to do. She used the whole uncle, my uncle was touching me thing as an excuse. She just wanted to do what she wanted to do. And so she was doing this right here. She was keeping up with it for quite a while, and then she ended up getting, she kind of crossed the wrong person. She ended up getting stabbed in her stomach. Now that's unfortunate, right? But you're crossing a slippery slope when you do this to people. I don't even want to take it to the violence. I don't like. I really don't want to take it to the violence, but I'm not even trying to talk to women on this. I'm trying to talk to the men. All right. If a woman likes you, she finds you attractive, you ain't got to take them on a date the first time y'all meet up. You ain't got to take them on a date. You can meet up at a park somewhere and talk. You ain't got to take them on a date the second time. You can meet up at your house the second time. You can meet up at her spot the second time. You can meet up at a hotel that you staying at the second time. If she likes you, it don't matter. And just because you take somebody out on a second date after y'all met up and everything is fine doesn't mean she's going to stay around either. I've had that happen to me. We've all had that happen to me. I mean, excuse me, we've all had that happen. If you're out here dating, right? A lot of women can't really say that because women aren't the ones that's really paying for it. They feel like, hey, man, I can determine where I want to go, when I want to go, who I want to go out with. And it is what it is. But, until they've actually had to put on their big girl panties and ask a guy out on a date and deal with men and put themselves out there to be rejected or not, you know, they really don't fully understand where a lot of men come from when they say, hey man, no more dates, right? Miss Webb says she's feeling hopeful she'll find a place soon and she's waiting to hear back on a few applications. I'm just applying for apartments and it gives me the space to be picky. I just realized I'm fine without a place. I feel like any day I could have a real rental. I'm not extremely stressed, she said. And that's the end of the article. All right. Um, they kind of they they kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of made her the victim. Oh, it's a struggling woman that's just doing what she can, and one day she'll be able to find what it is that she's looking for. They're going through a housing crisis right now, and she's a hardworking woman. Oh, it's just so hard for women out here. No, no, this a bitch who 25. But 25 is not young, especially not no white woman. Especially not a white woman. I never met a white 25-year-old woman who thought that she was young. Hell, I really never met a white 24-year-old woman who thought she was young. Right? I never really met an Asian woman who thought who used the word young, like I'm young and this is that and the third. She'll use that on Western men. Right? The only race of women that I've ever heard that said, they 25 and young and they don't really know any better were black women. Right? But this ain't about, anything racial specific. It's not that she don't know any better. She's 25. 25, that's like that's like a 25-year-old white woman is like a 40-year-old black woman. Damn near, or maybe a 35, 36-year-old black. Like the alarm starts going off for a lot of white women when they 25. And they still single and they doing this right here. So it's like, better. And you don't have to, just because it's like, hey, just because it's easier for you to meet somebody, do right by them, build a home, build a family, you don't have to do that. Right? You do not have to do that. But everybody has free will. You hope that, these guys you're going out on a date with, that they will do right by you. Because there are guys out there that they like bragging about meeting different women, being able to attract women, having sex with women. And that's not something that's easy to do, right? On a regular basis with different women. But the thing is when you're dealing with so many different personalities, you don't know who you're getting. You don't know who's coming to pick you up. You don't know who's behind, that profile picture on an app. There's been several cases where women have lost their lives dealing with people on apps. Probably for doing what it is that she's doing right now, just playing men, right? Uh, I don't have any kids, but if I ever had a daughter or daughters, I would tell them like, hey, look, you know, don't ever piss a man off. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to upset a man, right? If you tell the truth, it's cool to upset a man. It's cool being honest and somebody gets their feelings hurt and to upset them, right? But to play and piss off a man, you don't want to do that because you never know who you're dealing with. I don't even try doing that. And then you meeting so many different people, so many different personalities, you do not know who it is that's picking you up. And when a woman is like doing something that's considered quote unquote not right, right? It's like, hey, I push my boundaries with these men over here, right? They let me do it. It's almost like, hey, man, they don't seem to mind. Some of them don't know my true intentions. It is what it is. They clueless. They just like that I'm around. I'll keep pushing my boundaries until what? Until it's all over. Then what they gonna say? Hey, man, we need to protest men that are doing this, that, and the third to women. These violent men that are out here, or these kind of men are out here. Man, they didn't really have this article was totally different with that Neve guy, with the Tinder swindler guy. It was a totally different wording. They had the public had a totally different stance on that guy, right? Women were mad that he didn't go to jail, but those women paying him all that money, they were pissed off behind that. And it was like, hey, man, that was your own free will to take out those loans and give it to him. Nobody forced you. You could have said no and got you a regular man, right? So it is what it is. Like if hold on, I started this from the beginning. The pregame for this football game is so long. I'm trying to fast forward it. But here's the thing, man. I'm about to end up and wrap up this live right here, but I want to say this. Fellas out there, here's some tips, man. Here's some tips. If you're dealing with somebody, right? Let me tell you, I've never, can I say never? No, I need to take that back. Fellas, if you out here and you're single, when you first meet a woman and it seems like she's down to come back with you to your spot, don't do it. Right? Take the extra necessary steps to pause and say, hey, like maybe on the third meetup, but on the first, second meetup, no. I remember one time a woman slowed me down because I was trying to invite her inside real quick. I wanted to invite her inside, talk, and then we go out. But she was like, nah, I ain't going in there. She came in on the second time. She was in my bed the second time. Nothing really went down the second time. But then when I wanted to see her again, never heard from her again. Right? You would have thought, you would have thought after the first and second meetup, okay, this is something that's going to last. No. Right? So she slowed me down, man. You need to slow women down. If it's looking like, okay, because I'm pretty sure she's not saying that she has trouble or she has any issues, right? She's not telling them about her homelessness situation, right? She just has a good time, a bubbly personality, and a lot of guys probably invite her over. And I don't think she's giving up something every single time, but I'm pretty sure at sometimes she has given it up. Sometimes you got to slow women down. You can't just be thirsty to invite somebody back to your spot right when you meet them because you don't know who they are. You don't know who these people are. You don't know their intentions. Look at what she said. the quote, she said, I'm pushing to try to see how far I can take it. All right. Um, you already know they have like an OnlyFans, you take it from there. Right? Are you gonna make content with them? You gonna take that person serious, or you gonna charge it to the game? That's up to you. That ain't for me to tell you what to do because everybody's different. Some people might get turned on if they're dealing with an OnlyFans chick. Me personally, if somebody got an OnlyFans, I'm stopping it right then and there. I'm like, hey, bye. It ain't even getting to the point where there is a meetup. Right? And stop helping these hoes. Stop. And that's happened to me multiple times where I meet somebody, the vibe is good, the connection is strong, and then they asking me for something right when I meet them. Hey, you don't have to, and they always say you don't have to do this, right? But because this is that and the third, I'm in a situation where yada 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 yada. I do need a couple dollars, and then I don't have any money, and my phone is about to get cut off, and I need this to pay off my phone and to pay off this and to pay off that. There are women who do that stuff. It's and women, they'll ask you when they think they got you. When a woman feels like she emotionally has you, it could be the first time y'all meet each other. It's like, damn, I'm looking in his eyes and I think I got him. Let me ask him something real quick. They all got this sad story. And let me tell you, you don't ever want to help out women like that. The reason why is because um there's some guys where it's like you got the money and you like this person, you feel for them, and then it's like, okay, damn, I don't want to give what it is that they're asking for because they're asking for too much, and I don't know who they are. So you might be the type of dude that gives them a little bit, and you give them more than what they have, and then you still don't hear from them no more. When you confront these people on this, I've never done this, but I had a friend who did this. I had a friend who he was tricking a lot. I should say. Sometimes he would give women what they asked for. Sometimes he's just like, all right, now I'm gonna pull back and give them a little bit. I just met her. And they would all do the same thing. They always say, okay, shit, that dog. Like if he gave them half of what they asked for, he's like, okay, that shit. He'll tell them like, damn, like it seemed like you distancing yourself. You trying to cut me off. I did this, that, and the third for you. That ain't, and they'll tell them that ain't no money. That ain't no money. That's more than what you have. You give them what they ask for, they'll be like, so? There's a lot of women out here that move like kids. All right. Just spoiled, petulant kids out here. And you can't fall victim to stuff like this. So, you know, I can only imagine through the eyes of women, they look at all men as just one big suckers. I don't have to do much. As long as I give them sex, I get whatever I want, and then I can take my kids and leave. Right? All I needed was 5 days to stay at somebody's house. Damn, through men, women can get whatever. Sometimes, man, you just gonna have to stick your foot down or put your foot down and say, hey, look, you know, sound like you're a part of the game, so I'm not fucking with you if you part of the game. And if you part of the game, you need to be up under some instructions because I ain't dealing with no renegade out here. You seem like you ain't even you seem like you in the game and you ain't on no instructions. So I can't be fucking with you. You'll do me like Kylian Mbappe, or you'll do me like Young Philly. I help you, we do something, then you go on about your way, and then when something don't work out right, you start doubling back and trying to line on people and setting up people that helped you out. No, if they want to be a part of the streets, man, let the streets pay their tab. Don't you pay no woman's tab on Hinge or whatever. It's 2024, about to be 2025. We still have people who are illiterate when it comes to the game. Let the streets pay this woman's tab. And not just this woman, any woman that's trying to get over on you. Let the streets pay their tab. I'm over on Mount Splashway Beach. You guys take care. Peace.